Are you tired of bad news and negative headlines? So are we. Stick around for a weekly news segment brought to you by Central Perk. Good news, everyone. Two 12-year-old boys made $250,000 during the pandemic and are giving back to local animal shelters. Like most 12-year-olds, Ayan and Mickey Nakvi love their family Christmas traditions, like making cookies and wrapping gifts. But most of all, they love decorating their Christmas tree and their family's heirloom ornaments. One day, as the Connecticut-based brothers were hanging their decorations, one of their favorite ornaments slipped off a branch and broke. It was then that the light bulb went off and the Ornament Anchor was born. A more secure way to hang your decorations, the anchor featured a toggle device that fastens your ornaments safely against the branch instead of hooking them over like conventional product. Ayan tested the anchor for a school project last year, and when the parents and teachers swarmed his booth with interest, he knew he and his brother were onto something. The pair didn't waste any time turning their invention into a business. After selling over $1,000 worth of product within the first 6 hours at the local Christmas fair, the boys were determined to share the product with the world. In a matter of months, Good Morning America featured the product, and so did QVC, where it sold out twice. In just 1 year, Ayan and Mickey made over $250,000 in revenue and have donated, and will continue to donate, 10% of all profits towards local animal shelters. Swiss Parliament approves same-sex marriage. Switzerland's parliament approved a bill Friday allowing same-sex couples to marry and finally bringing the small Alpine nation into line with much of the Europe on gay rights. But the Swiss themselves will have the final say on the matter, as the Christian ultra-conservative Federal Democratic Union Party has announced that it will ask for a legislation to be put on a referendum. Switzerland is one of the few European countries where same-sex marriage is not legal. The country allows same-sex couples to enter into registered partnerships, but it does not provide the same rights as marriage, including for obtaining citizenship and the joint adoption of children. The wording of the bill allows gays and lesbians to marry and for lesbians to access sperm donations. This is a historic victory for the rights of the LGBTI community, Amnesty Switzerland wrote in a tweet. In rare show of solidarity, 14 key nations commit to protect the oceans. The world's most far-reaching pact to protect and sustain ocean health offers hope that our sea's dire problems might be solved. The 14 leaders agreed to sustainably manage 100% of the oceans under their national jurisdictions by 2025, an area of ocean roughly the size of Africa. Additionally, they vowed to set aside 30% of the seas as marine protected areas by 2030, in keeping with the United Nations campaign known as 30 by 30. Both of these large commitments, the leaders will say, will help end overfishing and illegal fishing, rebuild declining fish stocks, halt the flow of plastic waste into the seas, and clean up dead zones created by runoff from farm waste. The 14 members are Australia, Canada, Chile, Ghana, Indonesia, Japan, Kenya, Mexico, Namibia, Norway, Portugal, and the island nations of Fiji, Jamaica, and Palau. Combined, they represent 40% of the world's coastline, 30% of the offshore exclusive economic zones, 20% of the world's fishery, and 20% of the world's shipping fleet. The 14 leaders are now inviting other nations to join the effort. Mindfulness meditation may decrease impact of migraine. Migraine is a neurological disease that can be severely debilitating and is the second leading cause of disability worldwide. Unfortunately, many patients with migraine discontinue medications due to ineffectiveness or side effects. Many patients still use opioids despite recommendations against them for headache treatment. However, in a recent clinical trial from Wake Forest Baptist Health Research, researchers showed that mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, may provide benefit to people with migraine. In the study, 89 adults with a history of migraine were randomly assigned to either the MBSR group or headache education group, with training or instruction delivered in 8 weekly 2-hour sessions. The MBSR group followed a standardized curriculum of mindfulness meditation and yoga. Participants also received electronic audio files for home practice and were encouraged to practice at home 30 minutes a day. The headache education group received instructions on headaches, pathophysiology, triggers, stress, and treatment approaches. Participants in both the MBSR and headache education group reported fewer days of migraine. However, only MBSR also lessens a disability and improved quality of life, depression scores, and other measures reflecting emotional well-being with effects seen out to 36 weeks. Further experimental induced pain intensity and unpleasantness decreased in the MBSR group compared to the headache education group, suggesting a shift in pain appraisal. Akashi City to certify same-sex couples' children as family, first in Japan. Akashi City will become the first local government in Japan to introduce a partnership system that treats the children of same-sex couples as family, city officials said on December 10th. While the planned system is not legally binding at a national level, it will allow same-sex couples in the city to change their relationships from roommates to relatives in their residence certificates, effectively recognizing them and their children as equivalent to a family according to the city. Under the new partnership system, same-sex couples will be able to live in municipal housing and be buried together in municipal cemeteries. City officials also said that they expect the system will encourage the schools and kindergartens to allow same-sex parents to pick up their children because they usually hand them over to biological parents. The Japanese government does not recognize same-sex marriage, but around 70 municipalities nationwide have introduced systems to certify same-sex couples as equivalent to married couples. Tokyo's Shibuya ward was the first to do so in 2015. This spring, the Akashi city government set up a division to promote the understanding of sexual diversity in society and employed 2 dedicated staff members who are both sexual minorities for that mission.